So, this episode is for October 30th, the day before Halloween. I wasn't sure I was going to have an episode for Friday, but since there seems to be a demand for it, consider this the Halloween. Consider this to be the Halloween filler episode. Ooh. This is where you cut, man. Welcome to episode 46 of Low Tide. I am your host. Low Tide, of course, is the official program for rudeplanet. And this is also, as I like to say, the finest in COVID-era entertainment. So, so like as I mentioned in the intro, this is in my view what I would consider a filler episode, because I'm not necessarily one that really likes to review things anymore. I like to focus on my own work, doing the whole collecting thing and things like that. It allows me to engage in the audience in a way that people can get to know me a little bit better. But with reviews, it's different. Reviews goes more into analysis and structure and deconstruction and things of that nature. Stuff that I'm not really fond of, to be honest with you, in the first place. So, like, when I've done reviews in the past, it's like I did that review for Butt Boy like early on the show, and I got a lot of praise I got shining praise from the producer of that movie, saying it was his favorite review for Butt Boy. And I thought, wow, that's great. But then I did like a review for the little Star Trek thing, Unbelievable, like a month and a half ago. And I lost like 4 subscribers or 5 subscribers. And, it was just like kind of a meandering mess. So I'm trying to find a happy medium. And tonight, I was watching a short film on YouTube called Snake Dick. And I thought, okay, I'll review it. One, I could put Snake Dick in the title of my video. So that'll get people thinking, oh, wow, what the fuck is what the fuck is Matt going to talk about tonight? And 2, it gives me something a little bit to talk about. It is a movie that sort of reminds me in tone very much of the movie Butt Boy in a lot of ways. In fact, I had gone on online to see if the director had any connection to it. No, his name is I know I'm going to butcher it, so apologize if I do. I'll put the correction right here if I do. It was David Mahmoudieh, I think that is his name. And Snake Dick is very short film. It's about 8 minutes long. And I read about it because it was announced on, I think Dread Central announced it. So I gave it a shot. 8 minutes is like nothing out of my time. And it's a short film that begins with two young women driving up to a seedy little gas station to fill up their tank. Looks like there's a little bit of problem with their car, and there's a couple skeezy old drunks, outside of the gas station. And as soon as the girls get out, it's like they both start hooting and hollering, and one girl's like, just don't do anything. And she says something that sort of gives the premise of the movie away, so I won't repeat it. But the two guys continue to be jerks, and so the driver, the young woman as a driver, and I don't think they had names in the movie. I could be wrong. She goes up and pulls a gun on him, and forces him to get down on his knees and squeal like a pig. And when the second guy finally steps up to the plate, the other girl does something which reveals the title of the film. And it's one of these movies that has a very literal title, and that's basically it. It's shot well. The soundtrack's great. It's got like a great synthwave type vibe to it. The lighting is good, and the acting is is germane. So it's very efficient for a 7-minute film, but it seems to be missing something. And like the only thing I could think of is that this feels more like an extended trailer, or at least like a test reel for possibly a bigger feature film. That's the sensation I get from it. And it's like, given this given the taste that a lot of people have for ironic humor or literal humor or bizarro fiction, if you will, Snake Dick probably does have potential to be something much larger for a Generation Z cult film, if you would. I liked it. It's like, what sort of analysis can I do for an 8-minute film? That's the long and short of it. But it's like, I had I thought, well, there's not much for you to talk about, Matt, so let's just go over some of the things that you've read. And I'm gonna do a couple quick reviews, and then I'll go into some longer reviews. So like, I was intending on possibly doing a review maybe about a month ago, because I read Charles Burns's Black Hole, and it's a graphic novel that I've heard about for years, but like never really explored it too much. And it's like I've really only been collecting comic books again now for about 2 years, and so like I hadn't really thought about reading it for quite some time. I finally had my LCS owner order it for me, and it's quite a remarkable read. But I don't want you to consider that a review for tonight, because like the thing is that this is a deceptively simple graphic novel. It's very much a coming of age, or as another phrase for a coming of age drama would be Bildungsroman. I think that's how you would pronounce it. It's deceptively simple. The art is deceptively simple, but this is very dense thematically, and I didn't really feel like I could review this. I didn't really feel like I could review this and give it justice. I thought that, you know, like if I really attempted to review this, I would look more like a moron than anything else. So I just thought I would bring this up, you know, tonight. If I do review this, it'll be more in a written form. But as I said, you know, like reviewing other people's work is not something that is, you know, a task that I'm, you know, really accustomed to. I have the skills for it, and I take that back. I am accustomed to it. It's just not something I feel comfortable doing. So, oh man, you're dying here, Matt. This is the problem with doing things on the fly. This is a Wednesday night, and like I have to have if I'm going to have an episode done by Friday, I have to do it tonight so I can edit it tomorrow, so I can premiere it on Friday. Or, you know, worst comes to worst, if I really slice things down to the bone even further, you know, like I could possibly, you know, film it tomorrow and then edit it Friday morning, but I don't want to do that. You know, like one of the reasons why I'm in this situation is that, you know, like I had made some massive purchases earlier last month, still waiting on them. And my goal was to, you know, like get a good 2 or 3 episodes ahead so that I wouldn't be in this situation. But here we are. And I have a mystery box from Super Mole Retro sitting right over there. And I was thinking, you know, I could possibly just do another mystery box. But let's just be honest. I need to, you know, mix things up. And who knows, maybe this Rude Reads concept, you know, like might be, you know, episode that you guys like. From my standpoint, I'm in front of the camera and I'm terrified. And so it's like, yeah, Matt, you're sounding like, you know, an idiot and you're stumbling over your words and you're not getting anything done right. Will I cut that out? Maybe not, but I do need to cut, so we'll cut right here.
The day of doom is coming.
Your blood will turn white. Your face will turn green. Your eyeballs will pop with pressure. Because our doomsday show is the living end. Forge your strength. Take a shot. You're gonna need an awful lot when you see our shocker pictures. So terrifying that it is easier to die than to live. Come if you must, but make your wills. Say your goodbyes, for soon you may be up in the skies.
Doomsday is coming.
So, hey, Matt, how the hell are you going to do this to make it exciting? You know, I just, you know, turned the camera back on and I realized I had just filmed 12 minutes. I have no idea where the hell that 12 minutes came from. I was just talking about one book and a short film, and I thought, oh my God, is this going to be a 30-minute? I can't do that. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to do that to myself because I don't want to edit the damn thing, but I don't want to do that to you either. But, you know, yeah, it's good to, you know, like actually read and, you know, actually, you know, like, you know, talk it over with some friends. And by the way, I do want to thank the new subscribers I've had. I mean, like, we're already over 250 subscribers. And it seems to be growing a little bit each day, and like people seem to really be enjoying what I'm doing. I really can't thank you guys enough for stopping by, because like it really means a lot to me. You know, whenever I was going to take a break this Friday, but like, you know, I was reading some of the comments and I thought, you know what, this is good for me, and you know, if people are enjoying what I'm doing here, you know, then Matt, just do it, you know, like what else are you going to do? So, Okay, so pussy sentimentalism aside, let's just, like get into a little bit of what I've been reading. I just took a look at the camera again, and like that last run on the video was another 12 minutes. 24 minutes, and I'm not even done yet. Matt, you're killing me. You're killing your audience. But anyway, you know how I brought up the short film Snake Dick? I just recently finished watching The Boys, and I have to tell you, I do enjoy The Boys very much. I think that, as far as entertainment on television, it is a show that's really well done. But unfortunately for me, I read the comic book series, and like I've seen time and time again, I know even comic tropes, like even, brought up how like the TV series is so far superior than the comic series. And I get that impression from, I get that impression from most people. I'm not going to say about comic tropes. I think that guy does all of his research. I think that's just more of a sentiment type thing. But like most people who parrot that, like the humor is too mean-spirited and juvenile. One of the things that I like to see in art is art that pushes the envelope, and art that, really crosses those boundaries. Art shouldn't be safe. And one of the things I'll say about The Boys is, well, the show itself remains gritty and dark. Given the sense of humor that the writer Garth Ennis had in the Boys series, I really feel that the show is playing it safe. I don't like the backstory of the female. I don't like how that's been changed. The backstory of Frenchie, I'm telling you, in the comic book is one of the funniest things I've ever read in my life. The way they've handled Butcher, and even the way they've handled Mother's Milk is decent. But I can tell you the exact moment that the show lost me is, and it goes back to Snake Dick. It is how they handled Love Sausage. Vasily is one of my favorite comic book characters, period. And in the comic book, he's a superhero from the former Soviet Union. Used to be a superhero back during the glory days of communism, and he's become sort of a sympathetic character to the Butcher and the Boys. And his character is oddly compelling, and he's known as the Love Sausage because he's got a huge dick. The huge dick is not his superpower. He's just, very well endowed. That's why they call him Love Sausage. But in the, I like his interactions that he had with Huey in the comics. And there's like this, there just seems to be like this nice, he's not a big character by any stretch. But he develops like this, little bond with Huey. Especially after they drink, Love Sausage's special vodka. He makes, he reappears at the end, and, it's like, I really love that character. And he was turned into a throwaway visual gag in the TV series. And it was a prime example of the difference between the show and the comic. If you take the comic as a whole, yeah, there's a lot of juvenile humor. And the one big criticism I have about the comic is that it was written for trade. It was written for a trade paperback. So like a trade paperback, essentially collects, 6 issues of a story. 5 or 6 issues. And so The Boys was written in little 6-issue story arcs. So if you read the comics, you'll notice that, every, the equivalent of 6 issues, it would move on to another fetch quest that Butcher would give Huey, or something like that. But towards that latter half of the book, it was around issue 28, it was around issue 30 where they started to get into the whole airplane thing. And that was really a nice analogy of 9/11. And I thought, like, the show really walks on eggshells. It does everything it can to sort of like appease, like not going into like the whole, politically incorrect type humor, but at the same time being dark and gritty, how everything's supposed to be now. So like, it's fine. It's fine. But like I'm sorry for those that think that the show is better, but you're wrong. But I bring up Garth Ennis because one of the things I read recently was Jimmy's Bastards. And this is a Garth Ennis story, and it's great. I've read the first volume. I have the second volume, but I've not read it yet. And this is basically, a Garth Ennis-like take on James Bond. What is his name? His name's Jimmy Regent, I think is his last name. He's basically the equivalent of James Bond. He's a special agent with MI6, and he's like the greatest super spy in the world. And he drinks a lot of champagne, and he has sex with countless women. But that has consequences, because if he's going to be constantly having sex with thousands of women, there's got to be a lot of children out there, and that's the entire premise of it. There's a lot of cracks at politically correct culture, which I find hysterical. And meanwhile, you have like the super spy. He's the kind of super spy that would play golf, still go for a swing as, explosions are going on behind him. And there's like this super conspiracy of like all of his children, wanting to do him in. And it's funny, so like that, hence the name Jimmy's Bastards. And, I read the first volume. I'll probably get to the second volume this week, but definitely high recommend. So that's that. So the next thing I'm going to review here, God. So, I had to check the camera again. I've been having to split this up because I was thinking, I have no idea what the running time is. And yeah, I added yet another 8 minutes of footage. So, oh yeah, Matt, you'll go and review stuff. It'll be easy peasy. You'll just review stuff and you'll get everything done real fast. And it's like, I guess Matt likes to run his mouth. I hope you're enjoying it, because, obviously I am. And I thought this was going to be a filler episode, but, as it is. Anyway, way back in the day, what was his name? Sean Lewis. He used to have a company called Blackest Heart Media. And they catered to, like the horror exploitation style films. I think like early on you can get like VHS copies of like really rare and hard to find films. And then later they started to put out like some graphic novels based off of horror films, and even produced a feature-length film called Black Devil Doll. Black Devil Doll was as far as among horror people, was almost like a meme during the MySpace days, just based off the marketing of it. You had a better chance of marketing stuff on MySpace back then than you do on Facebook now. It was a lot easier back then. But like, I've been aware of, Sean Lewis's output for a while. I think like I had to stop because I wanted to go check my VHS tape pile, and I still have one tape. I think this is a Blackest Heart Media tape. I can't remember, but this is it's a movie called Erectus, and it's caveman porn. It was directed by Joe D'Amato, I think. I've only watched it once. But yeah, John Lewis went on to go put together a horror-themed T-shirt company called Rotten Cotton. And then in recent years has branched off to being almost a full-fledged publisher. Well, they are, full-fledged indie publisher. They started doing comic book series based off of Italian gore films like Lucio Fulci's Zombie or The Beyond. And then started doing a comic book series based off of the movie Maniac, which is, a lot of my friends have seen Maniac, so they know what it is. A lot of my new friends, and a lot of my new YouTube friends don't know it, but like it's an extremely seedy and sleazy and gory horror movie from the 80s. And so yeah, they've been releasing that kind of stuff in comic book form. And one of the things that they did for their first, original work was a series called Bottom Feeder. Let's just do this as the thumbnail. Yeah, I guess that'll do. But yeah, it's a 3-piece set, limited to 1,000 copies per set. And I picked this up when I first started collecting comic books again. So like this was early on in my recently emerging comic collection. I bought these. So I've had these for like almost 2 years now. And check this out. This is like really great series. And this series is the main character, Lieutenant Angel, is based off of the actor Joe Pilato, who starred in Dawn of the Dead. Here's my favorite scene, or my favorite line, rather.
I'm running this monkey farm now, Frankenstein, and I want to know what the fuck you're doing with my time.
So, yeah. Joe Pilato plays a character named Lieutenant Angel. He's basically like a bad lieutenant type. He's a cop, but he's also does a hell of a lot of drugs. He does cocaine and heroin, and is very quick to shoot people that he thinks are going to kill him or whatever. He's the kind of cop. He's the kind of crooked cop that gets blowjobs from underage hookers while still wearing a fedora in bed. So it's like one of those kind of things. And that scene, that line that I just showed you from Day of the Dead, his performance in this book is basically at that level. It's dialed up to 11 throughout the entire book. And I gotta tell you that this is a shockingly gross, exploitive, and well done little comic series. It's only 3 issues, but it's done in like a prestige format. Like, I didn't really point this out. It comes in each issue comes in a slipcover. And, it's like, I've not seen other companies do something at this level, at this price, with the exception of, like the Black Label stuff that DC put out in the prestige format. But, like, I probably shouldn't show this cover. It's got a lot of nudity on it. But, yeah, it's this series is completely over the top. And the main character, the Joe Pilato character, Lieutenant Angel, he's the kind of character that always has a little bit of an internal monologue, and when he speaks at a high volume, is always shouting. And he's very misogynistic. He's not, there's no pause about, punching a female reporter in the face because she just happens to be standing there. He's that kind of character, and, he's disgusting. All the characters in this series are disgusting. And in the meanwhile, there's been this toxic waste dump that's been going on outside of the city. I think the city's named San Lucifer, and there's like this toxic waste dump that's been going on in the waterways there, and it's starting to mutate the fish. So you end up with like these giant swamp creatures with a lot of tentacles. Basically, if Swamp Thing was more Lovecraftian, it'd be that kind of thing. And they are. The creature is killing and impregnating people, and it's massively gory, completely over the top. And, he's the main character, Lieutenant Angel, is the kind of character that has an internal monologue like, after killing something, I gotta fuck something. That's the law of the land, or something like that. It's not going to be for everybody because it is completely over the top, and it doesn't shy away from pushing the envelope of good taste. So it's out there, but the artwork is great. And aside from Joe Pilato, we do have some appearances from Joe Spinell, who was in Maniac, and then also there's some guest appearances in these comics from, you have likenesses of Bill Moseley and Trent Haga. Trent Haga is an actor that I've worked with on a number of occasions, and he's a class act. He was a blast to work with, and he's got a couple movies of his own on, I think he's got one of them on Prime, maybe both of them. I think it's called, I've seen one called Chop, and it was really good. And he did another one called, I think, 69 Kill, but I'm not seeing that one yet. But anyway, is it a recommend? If you're a gore hound, if you like things sleazy, if you don't like that kind of thing, or, if you are easily offended, then I'd probably give it a pass. But yeah, check out the Eibon Press website. I'll put the link in the description below. And if you like that sort of thing, you can always read something like Bad